Once upon a time, I was a failure. I was doing badly in school. I couldn't keep a steady relationship, and I'd just been fired from my part-time job. It seemed like no matter what I did, I just couldn't do a good enough job to get by. I used to think it was all everyone else's fault. I used to think it was because of my older siblings. They were always the ones who were good at everything, and they set the bar very high for me. Things just seemed to come more naturally to them than they did for me. Then I realized it wasn't them. It was me. For my whole life, I had been blaming all of my inadequacies on being compared to my brother. He was always the one who came home with sports trophies, the straight A report cards, the popular friends, and the better girlfriend. My personal best was 3rd place and a B- in history. I don't want to talk about the girlfriends. It wasn't so discouraging to always be 2nd place or 3rd best. I stopped trying. My parents told me they were disappointed. It was always so disappointing to be 2nd or 3rd best. Not long ago, I was even doing badly in this class. I was having a lot of trouble doing the readings and the homework because I couldn't get myself motivated. But then I was at my parents' house one day and the phone rang. It was my brother. He was in jail. It turned out he had gotten caught driving under the influence of a couple different things. He needed money for bail. At first my parents were going to pay it for him, but then they changed their minds. They said, "Son, you get yourself into this mess and you have to get yourself out of it. Maybe if you were more responsible like your little brother, you wouldn't be in the slammer." This was the most amazing thing I had ever heard. I mean, I was sad that my brother was in jail and all, but my parents for once were using me as the example for good and what was right. So from then on, I had kind of a new outlook on things. I realized that I couldn't blame my brother for not doing my best. Only I could be my best. And wouldn't you know it, I started to do better in school. I came out with a study plan. I knew I needed to start doing better in my classes or else I would never be able to fulfill my future dreams. Every day I would make sure that I would study after class for at least 3 hours before I could do anything else, like watch TV or play with animals. I found out that making a schedule helped me get my work done. But I had to reward myself for keeping my schedule, so after I would do 3 hours of homework, I would let myself do something that I wanted to do. Of course, I had to make sure it wasn't drinking because then I might end up like my older brother. I realized also that I had to stop comparing myself to other people. I could only do my best, and if it wasn't good enough, I would just have to try my hardest and work harder until it was. I also found it was helpful to talk to other people when I was having trouble with my homework. When I was having trouble understanding something before, I used to be embarrassed to ask questions and felt like I might look stupid. But I think a lot of times other people don't know the answer either, or I shouldn't be afraid to ask. And if I didn't know a word or something, I used to let it go. Now I use dictionary.com. Finally, I learned I have to trust and embrace myself. Sometimes I don't think like other people. Sometimes I used to think that was a bad thing, or maybe I was a weirdo. But now I think of it as thinking outside the box. So I think what it all boils down to is trust. Trust in myself. I needed to have confidence in myself and not use other people to tell me if I was good or bad or doing right or wrong. It was dragging me down. But once I learned to stop being afraid, respect myself, keep track of a regular work ethic, take care of my own homework assignments, and embrace my differences from others, I started to do better in school and in life. I think it can lead to my ultimate goal of being a police officer or a pilot one day. Police Academy, here I come.